ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। समचरणसरोजं सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभं जघनविहितपाणिं मण्डनं जघन जघनविहितपाणिं मण्डनं मण्डनानां तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदय धवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि। You're on mute, Varshaji. OV 383. Oh, 383. I also realize that ignorance, when accepted by the soul, tells by its very name, avidya, that it does not exist. In this way, avidya disappeared because it was illusion, and I got the benefit of spiritual light, chit prakash, and then the pride which was attached to the physical body was gone. The body, which is an instrument to attain knowledge, is itself endowed with severe apathy. So, how can affection and attachment for the relatives of that body, such as wife, children, etc., remain? 386. In this way, I am wandering in this world in a state of complete aloofness. This is the answer to your question as to why there is so much lack of pride in this body. 387. When the ego, the pride of a man disappears, his physical body continues to function by the force of karma, which is already activated. This is like a dry leaf detached from a tree which is blown here and there by the force of the wind. 388. Thus, O the brave king, one who lives in complete detachment and true asceticism before actual dissolution of all his projections into the great absolute state of Brahman, is a true, blotless, and complete man with all the human accomplishments attained. 389. You may say that I had no loyal trust in a single guru. In this matter, I am going to tell you something as an explanation. Please listen with full attention. 390. When a disciple loses all his cognition of the outer objects and merges into Brahman, as soon as he listens to the great maxim of Vedanta from his guru. 391. He is never disturbed by anything which is conducive to his nature or contradictory to his mood. To say that he is affected is not true. This is like the fact that a dead man cannot be given any medicine or a child in a womb cannot be fed with milk. 392. So you should understand that there is no duty as such remaining to be performed by him in this world, but all cannot attain this high level. 393. When a guru utters a spiritually exclusive Vedic maxim in the ear of the disciple immediately gets the realization of its meaning. Example, I am Brahman. But that understanding does not remain later on active continuously. As soon as attention goes towards any object in the outer world, there is diversion. 394. What happens in such state of the mind? Your mind is still and quiet in the reality so long as you are seated in the yogic posture, and as long as you relax and move from the seat, the mind becomes occupied by thoughts of worldly things. But such change in the condition of the mind does not affect the true yogi. 395. He is a true yogi of a blotless and quiet mind whose attention in the reality is not diverted, whether his body is still in the posture of yoga or is active in the affairs of the world. 396. Take the example of Bhishma, whose equilibrium of the mind was not disturbed even when he had fought with the Lord Parshurama and by throwing the very sharp arrows had defeated him. Note, here Eknath has given the example of Bhishma, which belongs to a period later than the dialogue of Yadu and Avaduta, and Yadu was not likely to know about the battle between Bhishma and Parashurama, which was of a later date. But this anachronism happens in many cases due to oversight of the commentator, translator. 397. The mind should not be disturbed through the body is occupied in a severe battle. In order to achieve this supreme peace, I bow to the 24 gurus properly and respectfully. 398. If the mind is peaceful when the body is still, and it gets disturbed when one gets up from his seat, that state surely belongs to the ego. But the body or attachment to the body, it is not the true state of realization of Atman. 399. The attention is diverted as soon as there is perception of outward life. In order to avoid this diversion, I consider everything in the world as my guru, and thus my mind was meditating every moment on the guru only. 400. The device given to me by my guru was required to be put into practice. I therefore gave the status of a guru to all these animals and things in the world. 401. I gave the status of Guru to the very thing which would otherwise be a cause of distraction. As I followed this knack, the world became for me the manifestation of absolute Brahman. 402. Had my Guru not given me originally the spiritual wisdom, what could I have learned from all the beings like the earth, mountains, etc.? My purpose to approach so many more things as a disciple to a Guru was thus the attainment of highest goal of Brahman.
न ह्येकस्मात् गुरोर्ज्ञानम् सुस्थिरम् स्यात् सुपुष्कलम् ब्रह्मैतदद्वितीयम् वै गीयते बहुधर्षभिः.
Meaning of the verse, the knowledge acquired from one guru does not remain stable and comprehensive. This Brahman, which is without a second, is sung variously by various seers. 403. When the preceptor talks about the wisdom of the self, it becomes manifest as spiritual energy in the consciousness, but it is unstable. It dazzles and becomes manifest in the next moment. Sorry, but it is unstable. It dazzles and becomes unmanifest in the next moment. 404. That which is naturally very fickle cannot become firm. It appears and disappears in a moment. Then the disciple becomes very anxious. 405. As a serpent from whose mouth the rat, etc., escapes, becomes very restless, Sadhaka, the learner, becomes very anxious. He cannot keep peaceful mind. When the knowledge leaves him suddenly and is caught in the worldly worries. 406. No doubt, the Brahman is only one without any second thing, and all the seers and sages agree with this maxim. But if I ask them about it, they all describe it in confusingly different terms. 407. Some say Brahman has qualities, some say Brahman has no qualities. In this way, in the pride of their intellect, they cleverly put up arguments and counter arguments, thus indulging in great intellectual battle. 408. Some say that Brahman includes the five elements, which some say that it is beyond and devoid of the five elements. These groups of intellectuals only increase the harsh sound of their words. 409. When we look at the variety of objects in this world of five elements, our mind loses its concentration. At that time, in order to arrive at unity at the level of Atman in all the objects in ourselves, we should take and accept the peculiar qualities of various objects as it is what they are teaching us. 410. The so-called clever intellectuals cannot give satisfactory answers to the questions and the doubts of the seekers, and therefore the mind is not willing to put its questions before them. 411. So we have to bring about unity at very place where distraction arises. For this, I gave respects to various objects in the world, as if these are my teachers. 412. All the signs and peculiarities of these objects which I describe to you are no doubt the means towards self-realizations. So, being actively united in my mind with those signs, I cut down the sense of distraction. 413. In the very adaptability, I took hold of the root of firmness. Even if I looked at any visible object, I saw the universal energy in it. 414. That wisdom which my Guru had given personally to me has now become confirmed and verified because I learned from many Gurus and I have thus removed all the distractions. 415. There is only one Sadguru who liberates a disciple, but other Gurus become the cause of confirmation of that knowledge. I have already told you how this happens. 416. Now, even while performing actions, the question whether I am aware of surrounding world or the inner ideas and concepts are not aware does not arise. As the sky of the self-knowledge is grasped and the sign of reality is understood, my vision remains undisturbed and clear. 417. Now, objects are not seen by physical sight, though I see them. The doer, the acting, and the action, all the three are not separate. So wonderful is the nature of self knowledge. 418. A yogi may eat food, but in the absence of the ego, he is still as if without any food. Similarly, even though tactically there is relationship with the world, the aloneness does not end. 419. Though waves are playing on the surface of the sea, water remains water only. Similarly, I am physically moving among many objects in the world, but I am not aware of two beings. I am alone as I am. 420. The Guru, who is a great miracle in immanent in all the beings, and there is no empty space anywhere. 421. The Guru has also become the me inside my being, and that which is calling you to me is also the Guru, and what I address to you as you is also the Guru. 422. O King Yadu, if I see with this vision, my Guru is one only, because there is no duality anywhere. 423. I have told you the story of my Sadguru so that you may benefit by it. Saying this, Avaduta then embraced the king Yadu and they both became one unitary whole in the state of self-wisdom. 424. Their consciousness was one. The whole world became overflowing with the joy of Brahman. They were both speechless and they forgot to ask or answer. 425. The ecstasy could not be contained in their being and became out as sweat. The joy became a cloud and started in the form of tears through their eyes. 426. The fetter of pride was broken. They reached the other shore of the ocean of the worldly life, and goose pimples were evidently celebrating the victory over avidya, the ignorance. 427. The whole sense that I am the body was dropped, and therefore the body shivered. The fickleness of mind, whose doubts after deciding something was gone, and aspiration together with the mind disappeared. 428. Yadu surrendered his soul to the Guru, and his body showed the sign outwardly also. 429. Avaduta was the Lord Dattatreya himself. He embraced the king Yadu and gave him the experience of the self. 430, Eknath says, the disciples of the Lord Dattatreya was Sahasarjuna and the second was Yadu. Then in the age of Kali, the Lord has a third disciple by name Janardana. 431, this Janardana was very anxious about being blessed by Guru. In the deep meditation, he forgot his waking consciousness, his dream state, and the state of deep sleep also. 432. The God being pleased by the real devotion, the Lord Datta recognized the real earning of Janardana and met him and placed his blessing palm on his head. 433. As soon as the palm was thus placed, Janardana had self-knowledge and the very root of his illusory world was thus made useless. 434. Lord Datta gave him the knowledge that a man can remain a non-doer, though he is busy doing many things. Janardana also learned the yoga of being beyond the body, though living in the body. 435. He has also learned that without leaving the house and the household duties, without dropping the ordained actions, and while doing all duties in society also, the self-knowledge does not become tarnished. 436. When Janardana came to realize this, his mind lost its very structure and nature. He could not bear that state and fell unconscious. 437. The Lord immediately revived him into waking state and said, this love is of this sattva quality and one-sided. You should digest and overcome this and remain with the proper state of peaceful atmic level. 438. Janardana came to himself and worshipped the feet of the Lord with some flowers. But while he started to put his head on the Guru's feet, the Guru became invisible. 439. Eknath addressed the audience. I have told this story within the continued story, for which please forgive me. As the narration related to the influence and the blessing of the Guru, I added the story of Janardana, who is my Guru. 440. I have made a great mistake by adding the story of my Guru in the story of Bhagavata and also in the Marathi language. But please do not think that I have talked in vain. 441. He who is a devotee of a Guru and he who always remembers his Guru will surely know the inner reason. Will surely know the inner reason. 442. Those who have firm faith in the feet of Guru, those who have love for the bhajana of Guru, those who are fortunate enough to partake of the love of their Guru will understand the tenderness with which I dare to tell you about the Guru Janardana. 443. It is well known fact that all the four types of liberations are servants of the man who takes the name of his Guru continuously, but the devotees of Guru do not like liberation, but unending liberty at the feet of the masters. 444. Blessed are the devotees of Guru because taking the sacred water touched by their toes, the four liberations become pure themselves and the four human achievement, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha serve them. 445. It is the great master, the great Guru himself, who has really given great importance and value to the spirit, which is without any qualities, without any natural signs or support, and which is timeless, and therefore the Guru himself is Sat and reality, truth and reality. 446. Had there been no blessing and teaching of the Guru, nobody would have given any respect to the gods. It is the Sadguru who makes the deities worthy of their status. 447. Really, the Guru was not having the power of divinity without the blessing of the Guru. Really, the God was not having the powers of divinity without the blessing of the Guru. It is the Sadguru only who brought the God to his own majesty and compelled people to have devotion for him. 448. I made a mistake in introducing the story of my Sadguru who is having this greatness, and I request the listeners to please forgive me. 449. In a way, it is not irrelevant at all. While telling about the Lord Dattatreya and their disciples, I naturally remembered Janardana also. 450. If I say that I will not remember Janardana, it is not possible because he does not allow me to forget him. He compels me day and night to remember him and does not leave me alone. 451. The moment I try to forget him by thinking about other things, he becomes that thing. If I do not look at him, he becomes my diversion and my not looking. 452. For example, if a pot thinks to be separate from the space or to be devoid of the space, it is not possible because the space does not leave the pot. Similarly, Janardana is always united with me every moment. 453. If I decide not to talk about him, he becomes a speaker in my mouth. What can I do when he compels me to speak like this? 454. When I set about to look at any visible object, I see only Janardana in and out of that object. And if I listen to any words, he enters the words. 455. And if I try to sit silent without seeing or listening to anything, Janardana appears as that silence. 456. So I am in a fix. He does not allow me to forget him. I am really guilty. You, the listeners, may tell me what should I do. 457. The listeners said among themselves, this is really wonderful. There is no pride in his talk. When we consider the content of his talk, we experience a strange upsurge of love. 458. They said to Eknath, your words have deep meaning and are like the ocean of milk. The affection and the love in these words is so wonderful that we feel like swaying with joy. 459. The description with which you offered about the Guru is of a nature of the self knowledge endowed with love. We are therefore very pleased. The description is faultless. 460. The Guru himself has told the most significant thing, that one should always remember one's Guru. Who will say enough if it is a dinner of nectar? 461. Now, we have also learned that your devotion to the Guru is limitless. Your talk is tremendously pleasing. 462. You narrated the main story and also introduced another information in it, but the sweetness of your speech is without a parallel. 463. You have described the greatness of your Guru, and over and above that, you are still begging pardon, thinking that you have made a mistake. From this, we have come to know that your heart and mind are pure, and you are glorifying us by your humility. 464. You may say that your sense of guilt is also surrendered to God, and therefore the guilt has also become pure. You are a true man of knowledge. 465. When you become engrossed in love for your Guru, then in his praise, you naturally become forgetful of the main theme. We know for certain that this is the indication of real love. 466. Thus, the listeners further said, we are eagerly wondering about the next part of the story. So, please resume the main topic. 467. Eknath said, respecting the sentiments and the directives given by the listeners and offering my salutation to their feet, I'm going to tell you the story further. The audience is requested to pay attention. 468, Ekanath resumed the story. In this way, the sage Avaduta imparted to Yadu the importance of learning from all sources in the matter of spiritual way of life. The dialogue was very enlightening to the king Yadu, and Avaduta was also quite happy.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इत्युक्त्वा स यदुं विप्रः तमामन्त्र्य गभीरधीः वन्दितोऽभ्यर्थितो राज्ञा ययौ प्रीतो यथागतम्.
Meaning of the verse, the Lord said, the Brahmin who was having a high intelligence spoke to Yadu like this, and being saluted and honored by the king, went away as happily as he had come. 469. The Lord Sri Krishna said to Uddhava, thus the sage Avadhuta imparted self-knowledge to the king, and seeing that the king was satisfied, he took his permission and rose in order to go. 470. At that time, the king ran forward, held his feet by his hands, worshipped him, took a round about him, and again put his head on the feet of the great Guru.
Hallelujah.
470.
We can pause over here. Beautiful reading. And there is only very little left in the chapter, but it's already taking, it's 10:10. So you can discuss for 5 minutes before we turn. You can first share your thoughts, Nikhila ji.
Um, I like the OV 393 and 394. Like, and like when we are, what it's like when we are in a meditative stage or something, our mind, body, everything remains calm and we think about that Brahman. But again, when we come to this worldly, to this real world, no, not real world actually, to the world, what happens is we go back to our vasanas and we behave again
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I like the importance of the Guru and the way he describes how Guru gives us knowledge. And with their one word, everything in our changes, our pride goes away.
Yeah,
They make great difference in our life, knowing what is real me.
yes. And that description that how he is not separate from Janardhan, how Janardhan is even the silence and even the thing, all that description was also so beautiful, no?
So
My
every
God.
movie today, like, is
Yeah,
hammering time and again that you are this, you are
beautiful.
that.
It was the whole thing is only beautiful. Means sometimes, like that happiness of reading. Sometimes we forget how to retain it and make it our own. Like when the reading is happening, the nice light and all is there. Then after the reading is over, where it goes. I mean, so much we'll have to read. It's so beautiful.
True,
My
Asha.
God.
We do read every day. After we close, if the laptop is closed, and I think the mind also get closed with it.
Well, reading this happiness, this Sophie, I understood, and all that understanding then later it disappears. May Eknath Maharaj Ji give us something like how he has retained it in his silence. We can also retain it somewhere, some portion, and keep on chewing like a cow, that little bliss that we have gathered by reading and other 24 hours it should remain. Beautiful. Thank you, Nikhila ji. Somewhere I also underlined something and I felt so happy about it. All those 387, 388, 389, 390, all those also were very beautiful. Hmm.
And also, Varshaji, I mean, he said that everything in life, whether it's an object or any person, everything he says is also a guru because you learn from all the different experiences. And if you think deeply, it is true. I mean, because when your interactions also, you learn how to live in this world, though it's easy said than done. Yeah.
Like that. We're able to read it now, so that's beautiful. Ah, okay. Do we have to wait till Monday to finish the chapter? We can do it, right? Otherwise, tomorrow's class, I think, bunk that. Or tomorrow I should bunk the class and complete this and we'll come on Monday. Wonders. Please suggest.
Yeah, we're okay with tomorrow also, Varshaji. But if you,
No, we'll do this because no, the if the gap goes, no, the flow of thought, because that points will change now. So we should because we don't have retention capacity. In that mood, it will be read. Like now we have stopped at that particular thing. So we need the flow of. I think tomorrow we will do, and then next week onwards, when the new chapter is also starting, then we will pause. New chapter will start tomorrow because only few OVs are there, and some 30, 40 OVs will be finished from the new chapter, but that's fine. And then we'd continue. So tomorrow let us have. Hmm? So we'll inform Venkateji, you'll message him, and who else
yeah,
joins
we'll
us?
message you.
Sajeev ji also joins, so we can tell him also. Sajeev ji and Venkatesh ji, please message and say that
Sure.
tomorrow we have a meetup. Okay, see you all tomorrow. You want to do the closing prayers or I should do it?
I'll try, Varshaji.
Good.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
Hari Om.
Ji for wonderful reading. Hari Om Shri Hari Ji, Lata Ji, Tatma Ji.
And now we can really understand and pray that Krishna Arpanamastu Gurubhyo Namaha.
Hmm.
Thank you, Ashaji.
Thank you, my dear. Lovely. See you all tomorrow. It's very tough to leave this text. That's the whole thing.
It's very beautiful also. Like we can relate to Narayaniya, we can relate to Bhagavad Gita.
And today's Gita class was also beautiful. We were doing yajnas in that class,
Fourth
fourth,
chapter.
fourth chapter. And now, same thing, whatever was said, same thing came out over here. How the offering is, how it is, and how all the yajnas, same has come. Mhm.
So nice. No one. Sometimes it matches with Narayaniam, sometimes with the class we hear. And there was one OV which Ushaji keeps on telling us here. I forgot the number, but Ushaji in every class she would mention that.
Eknathi Bhagawat.
There was one movie in Eknathi Bhagawat, one reference.
Mm.
Every class she hammers like, she also wants us to do this and retain.
Mm.
Viveka Chudamani, we are presently doing Viveka Chudamani and
Viveka Chudamani is so beautiful. My God. Amazing. And Gurudev's commentary is mind blowing over it. Okay. Hari Om. Rest well.
Thank you, Varsha ji.
Most welcome. Hari Om, my dear.